I see Allison just came on board and I asked her to come on and share because she's been, I think her message was my StreetText leads are on fire right now. She's done a couple listings and had some great success. So as always, when someone has success, we're like, okay, what are you doing? Like, what's the thing? Like, how can we learn from that? So Allison, do you want to, I'm glad you can make it because I know you're busy, but we'd love to hear from you on your successes and stuff and how they came in.
So I use StreetText in a way to get the leads. So I use just your typical seller ad with the map. I don't use a city name in the ad. I use just the house emojis, just like you guys set up for me. And I just didn't try to reinvent the wheel. That works. So I put it out there. I put the ads out there. I do the typical $9 a day or whatever it is. I forget, it's been on there for so long. And what I do is when I get the lead, I immediately just try to call them or text them. And I don't use a ton of technology to bring them in and get them to be my client. Like all these bomb videos and everything, I think they're great, they're amazing, but that's just not my style. And so I think the way to make this work is to have be yourself. Don't try to be too techy if that's not who you are. So what I do is I immediately try to call them and just make a connection. I just try to make these people my friend. You're my friend first. I'm trying to help you. Let's make a good connection. And usually from there, it leads to questions. And I tell them, all right, yep, I'll come out. Can I come out on this day at this time to give you a property valuation? And I find that that's very important to put a day and time in front of them and not just say, hi, when can I come? You got to say, I'm available tomorrow from 11 to 2 and Thursday from 5 to 7. Do any of those times work for you? And I'll be there to take a look at your house. Because I just want to get in the door and get in front of their face. Once I'm in front of their face, then we can talk. We can figure out what their goals are, because sometimes they're just thinking about selling and not quite there yet and stuff like that. So once I'm there, I can make that connection even further and I go from there. If they don't answer a phone call or they don't put a phone number down, I have a very generic email that says, I got your property valuation for your house, the address. I think it is worth somewhere between this and this. It's usually a $50,000 range. And then it goes into detail and it says, for me to really give you a good idea of what your house is worth, I need to see it. I need to see the inside. So please give me a call. I'd love to set up a time to get back to you. And sometimes that doesn't work. Sometimes people don't respond to that email. And I get a lot of people that call back and they say, like, I get random calls sometimes. People say to me, I've been getting your emails and I'm ready now. Sorry I didn't respond to your emails before, but I'm ready now. Could you come out? So the drip campaigns, I think, also really, really work. So just to sum it up, I try to be myself, not overly technology, anything like that.
I love that. That's key. And I think, like, what's your count? Like, how many listings are you at with StreetText?
So I started about a year ago, right before coronavirus hit. And I found that at that time when coronavirus hit, there were 1,000,001 people just clicking things because they were bored. And I found that the lead quality at that time really just wasn't that good because a lot of people were just clicking things because they're bored. So I kind of shut it off for a while. And I think I turned it back on in like beginning of June. In the beginning of June, I got my first StreetText listing. It was a $700,000 lakefront home in a well-known, sought-after town in New Hampshire. So 700,000 in this area is pretty high. It's nothing crazy, but it's a good price point. So I got that and I said, you know what, StreetText works. Let me keep it around. Because at that point I was I didn't really know if I liked it, if I didn't like it. Nothing was really happening, but I kind of attributed that to the coronavirus. So that one came on the market after months of me working with that client and her receiving the drip campaigns. And that was one of the people that had just called me and said, Actually, they called my office asking for me, and they said, oh yeah, she sent us a bunch of emails, and we're ready for her to come out and give us the valuation. So I did that, and it was another good month or so before we actually got a listing agreement signed. But from that point forward, I kind of realized this is good, but it's only as good as what work you put into it. You can't just sit back and let the drips run. You've got to get involved with them. And you have to be on these leads immediately with a phone call or a text message. And I had looked back into my notes on this particular property, and she didn't answer the phone when I called, but I sent her a text, and she responded to the text. And she just said that she was really overwhelmed in the beginning stages of listing, and that she hadn't talked to anyone yet, but was just kind of trying to get a ballpark idea of what it was worth. So I responded with, okay, I think it's worth somewhere between this and this. I'm not here to pressure you. So when you're ready, you let me know and I'll be out there. And months went by, and then she called and we listed it. So from that point forward, after that, so that was my very first one. A couple months after that, I think it was August, I signed another listing. Unfortunately, it didn't close yet. It expired out, but that was due to some repairs needed to be made to the property. And that one's coming back on in the spring. They're doing a new roof, a couple other things. So that was the second one I got. And then it kind of died down for me and didn't do too much over the holidays. And it really just started picking back up again. So in the past 3 weeks, I think I've gotten, I'm just looking at my desk here to see which ones came from there. So I got one listing that's actually going active tomorrow. It's a house built in 1790. So it'll be a very, very historical, but it's a $450,000 price point, which is good for this area. It should sell quick. I got another one that was $125,000 price point, which is actually very low for this area. But in this market, any seller, I just take them because it's easy money right now. So I got that one. That one's set to close next week. But in the past couple of weeks, I've gotten 3 more that I've been dealing with over the past year. One of them actually was one of my very first leads in the beginning of March last year. And we talked a lot over the past year about how his son was applying to colleges and next year he would be good. And so we talked and talked all year. Occasionally, every couple months, say hello. And now his son got into colleges and I'm going there Sunday to list it. So I think my biggest thing here is if you're signing up for StreetText thinking you're going to get a listing tomorrow, it's not really how it works for me. I mean, sometimes that does happen. It has happened to me, but it takes work. But if you can get one listing, like my very first listing, paid for StreetText and all of my ads for 5 years. That's how much it was worth. So now anything else is just free money. So stick with it and be yourself and it will work. And it's not, for me, I know a lot of people on here get 5-10 listings a month. I don't spend enough on ads for that. And I just try to make this a piece of my business. But I mean, if you have all the money in the world to spend, you could make great money with StreetText. It's just not what I particularly do. But it is well worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I love it, Allison. I think what comes off is just your confidence in the way that you're talking. And that translates with all your leads when you're talking to them too, is that you call them, you're not worried about whether they're going to list with you or not.
Oh, no. Yeah.
I just want to help you. And I think that comes off. And I guess it shows like the way the leads are coming in over the course of a year. So in times where it appeared like things were dipping, you still had your foot on the gas, your ads were still running. You were still following. That's awesome.
It's just that things weren't getting signed, but now all at once they're all going to get signed because I've been talking to these people through that time. I thought there was a lull. And to touch on that first piece, that's just kind of the agent I am. I'm very low pressure. And I tell people that when you meet me, I'm low pressure. I'm not here to tell you sell your house right now or else. That's not me. It needs to be the right decision for you. And it's a big decision. And usually my laid back character of not being so pushy is what gets me the listings.
Allison.
Yes.
What do you say when you call someone? When you get
so when you get the phone number, I call them up and I'm just myself. Hey, Rob, I saw that you requested a home valuation for your house on Broadway in Methuen. When would be a good time to come out and take a look at the house to give you a proper valuation? I'm available tomorrow, the next day, these times. And then I go into, it's really important to have somebody look at your house, because an internet valuation is not always correct. And my biggest thing with any type of listing, whether it be through StreetText or my Sphere or anywhere, is listen as much as you can. I don't try to do too much talking. I've asked my question of when can I come and given them my times. And when you let somebody talk, so many other things come out that you understand. Like, for instance, the property that I'm going to on Sunday, his son was applying to colleges, and I let him talk and talk and talk. And his son really loved Florida State University. And I could tell him how great Florida was because I went to the University of Miami. And we made a big connection just like that. And I find that just the connection is what gets you going and gets the listing. So for StreetText for me is really to get the lead and me to find out, all right, you're interested in selling and this is your contact information. And then I really take it from there.
Thank you.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Do you say something like that when you text someone as well?
Yeah, I try to be more brief with the text. I'll usually just say, hi, Rob, I got your request for a property valuation. Are you available Monday at between 5 and 7 or whatever? Thank you so much. And then I have an electronic business card that I send the picture with it.
So are you not giving them anything ahead of time? You're just saying, I need to come see it. I'm not going to give you anything.
Yep, that's exactly what I do. Unless they don't answer the phone or there is no phone number, then I do that email, which gives them that $50,000 gap in price range.
Okay.
Because I'd rather make the connection first than have it be artificial through paper and stuff like that. But that's just me. That works for me.
There's not one way. There's lots of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
For any of you that listen to any of my posts, lately I've been saying Facebook is like a football field of which you have 100 yards and you're getting the ball at the 1 yard line. And you're not competing against everybody in the end zone. Logan and I, we've talked about that, right, Logan? You're not competing with anybody in the end zone. It's your ball. And so, but there's a bunch of there's a defense you got to get through, and everybody has their own defense mechanism based on their previous experiences with people. So some of you, it's easy. Like you get a listing appointment right off the bat in trial. You know, you broke through the line easily. There was a hole for you or a Hail Mary pass, you're in the end zone. You got the listing and you think like StreetText is going to be easy, right? But most of you start realizing that you have 99 yards down the field to go with these people, and it's inching your way through. It's becoming likable, becoming somebody they know, and then they trust eventually. And then that opens up the opportunity to come on over. So I think part of that is just realizing with the style of leads you're working, majority of your fruit comes later. Like, you know, Allison's starting to see a bunch of these listings come out, but she's been with us for a long time. You know, and she got that first listing later, and it went in a lull for a while, and everybody talks about the lull. But the lull is a time to actually reimagine the experiences you want to set for these people and rethink some of your follow-up strategies. You know, don't spend your entire time at StreetText just focusing on finding the lowest cost lead and split testing and A/B testing and all of that's all your focus is. When the majority of your time should be spent on how am I giving this person the best experience of myself, the best version of myself? How are they getting to know me and like me and see me as someone that's not just trying to sell them or get their listing? And that's where I encourage everybody to really reimagine that follow-up process to set that tone.
Can I ask Allison one more? Go ahead.
Oh, sorry about that. Just to go off of what Marcus was saying, I've only ever had 2 ads. I've never split tested, done anything like that. I've only changed my ad once, and the only reason I did that was because in my state, in Massachusetts, I'm right on the Mass-New Hampshire border, and we found that there was a lot of people looking to move from Mass to New Hampshire. So I kind of just moved my radius up more into New Hampshire because it was just working for me. So since March of last year, I've only ever had 2 ads, and obviously they were split tested once, but I don't go in there and I don't mess with them, because if it works, then don't fix it, it's not broken, don't fix it. So I don't think messing with the ads every other week matters. To be honest with you, I don't even know what my cost per click is. I just know that I'm getting listings out of it and it works, and it's paying for itself 10 times over.
Okay. My question was more of one more tactical question. Was, so you get, the person submits the form. Are you doing even like a video going back, or if you don't have a phone number?
Video. Yeah, I don't do any video.
Okay.
I don't do any video for any of it. Nope. It's just very, let me see if I can pull up the email just so I can tell you guys what it's like. It's very generic, and it helps because, I'm pretty busy. I'm one of the top producers in New England-ish, I guess. And it's only my 2nd year. So I do a lot of everything, different types of leads that I get. So let me see if I can just flip this around so you can see the email.
You can share your screen too if you'd like, Allison.
I'm on my phone though.
Okay, no worries.
So it won't let me flip it around, but it says, good afternoon. I received your request for a property valuation on your Derry, New Hampshire home. I looked up your home characteristics, and I've also examined some homes that have recently sold in your area. In looking at that, I believe your home to be worth somewhere around 275 to 300. However, I would need to see the interior of your home to give you a more accurate value. Are you available sometime this week for me to stop by and go over the details of your home valuation and give you a more accurate value? I'm available on Monday, Tuesday, like I said, I just put in some times. So it's very, very simple.
Value.
I try not to reinvent it, because if you go into too much detail, I feel people are really looking for that price point. They're going to skip through everything you said just to see what that price is. And then when I say, however, then they're going to read that last sentence. So I don't want it to be too long. A video would be great. I mean, honestly, I try not to spend all my time on one specific lead source. And I feel that if I were doing things like videos and these extravagant follow-ups, then I wouldn't have time for my other lead sources. So I try to make it so that you're getting the information you asked for, but that you also need to call me to follow up.
And there's value and an ask. And I love how you're controlling the narrative and giving them options like, hey, this is the time that I have available. What time works best for you? So you're not saying, you're giving them 2 or 3 options that they can say, well, actually Monday at 2. You're like, perfect, right? So you're that in itself, I think it's an awesome opportunity we all can take from.
Yeah, I think more than ever in this climate, this COVID climate right now, people are suffering from decision fatigue. Like, there's just too many decisions. Their minds are too full. So when you come in and confidently and quietly say something like, hey, I'd love to take care of that for you. I could come by on this day from this time to this time. You're just positioning them to be able to make a decision without having to waver. Because when you say, I'd love to come by anytime, that open-endedness to that is really, frankly, overwhelming for some people. Like, some people are just like, I don't know when. So that just a little change in language, when we slow our tone down, we're not quick to try to have the conversation rushed. And then we give them like a choice between a here and here, as opposed to like an open-ended question where I don't have that. So there's a lot of just mental science that goes on there when you ask people like, hey, I can come by Thursday from this time to this time. Would that work for you? To me, as a dad of 4 trying to run around and keep all the crazy, and I love when someone just gives me a clear, decisive decision to make. So I think that's really key in the way you're positioning your language when you talk to someone. Love it.
And again, the email is just very low pressure, just like I am. You asked me what your house is worth. It's worth somewhere between here and there, but I really can't give you an accurate value until I see what the inside looks like.
Allison,
Makes total sense. Yeah. Oh, sorry, Rudy.
I want to record it. Could you just go over again what you say on the phone when you get a call, please?
Sure. When I get the call, I'll just say, "Hi, can I speak to Rob or whoever the name is on the lead?" And then I'll say, "I got your request for a property valuation. It looks like you're thinking about making a move, and I just want to talk to you about when would be a good time for me to stop by to take a look at your home so I can give you an accurate value. I have this day and this day available from these times to these times." And then I let them talk. And from there, I'll say, well, it's very important to have somebody in your home to give you an accurate value, because these online valuations, they don't take into account what's inside your house. And like I said, I let them talk, because that's how you make the connection. You have stuff in common and stuff like that. And when you let someone talk, there's a lot more information that comes out rather than if you keep asking questions.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So something I want to share a picture here for you. And then also Wendy, she's you know, she shared her sort of cartoon video. It's working really well. So Wendy's gonna share that with us here in a second too. But something I want to paint. Yesterday I was chatting with Troy and we were talking about the power of the funnel in your business. What does that look like? And I think there's this really simple way of visualizing. I'm going to draw out a real simple funnel here so you can see it. So
John,
here's,
fine.
Can you see this?
Yeah, John.
Perfect. So here's your funnel, right? Now, this is sort of the top of your funnel right here. And then this is the point where you now have turned a person, a lead, a contact into a client. And then of course your funnel actually goes like this, because the point of your funnel is that when you're looking at people coming through, they're coming this way. You obviously want to turn them into, at this point, at the end of the funnel here, repeats and referrals. So the power of your funnel isn't just who you're meeting at the beginning, but what is that turning into as far as business for you, post clients. So you've got your repeats, your referrals, and then eventually that goes back in. So here at the very beginning of your funnel, this is your sort of your awareness stage right here. Then you have the next stage, which is really going to be in the middle of the funnel, which is called education. Education is going to be people saying, okay, what's my home worth? Give me more information. What homes are under a certain list in my marketplace? That's your education phase. And then eventually you want to get them to the point where they are now ready to take action. Okay, yeah, I want to talk to someone. I want to take the next step. Maybe I was waiting for that time period, just like you were sharing a little earlier there, Allison, where that person was waiting for their son to go to college. So it's like, what's that next step? But a lot of times, that education phase might be 3 months out. It might be 3 weeks out, but you can actually accelerate that time frame. It's not a static time frame. It's a time frame based on what are the things that I need to know to make that next decision. So you can actually squish that time frame down. So you can take a 3-month time frame and turn it into 3 weeks. You can take a 3-week time frame and turn it into 3 days. If you know what it is that they're confused by. Think of it this way: when people have a clear idea of their vision, when it's crystal clear, when they know what it looks like, they can't help themselves but move forward towards the thing that they see. If it's blurry, if it's confusing, if it's vague, they won't move forward until it's crystal clear. And so you can help close that gap with how you communicate and how you educate people along that line. But there's another really important principle here, which is lead flow. So let's have a look at this. When I look at these numbers in business, I'm looking for green. I want to see, like, every one of these numbers that's dark green has to be green, because that tells me my business is healthy. That tells me your business is healthy. That tells me are you generating, do you have a good steady flow of leads? Do you have, are they getting into that education phase? Are you getting people that are asking questions that you're able to offer, respond? And are those questions then are they turning into appointments? Are they turning into conversations, responses, exactly what Wendy's about to share? And then are those responses turning into clients, and are those clients turning into repeat and referral? Because that tells you your business is healthy. But here's the thing, and this is why it's so important, is that when you look at these numbers, you can actually see, like, right away, is there an area of your business that you need to jump on? Like let's say like you're looking at the top of your funnel and this is red for whatever reason, that this not green, it's red. You might say, oh, well, I don't need to worry about it right now because I've got, this is green right here and this is what I'm working on. Well, what happens next week, next month? Is that red bar actually, because it's a funnel, everything's flowing down, it actually moves here. And so now that red bar has moved here. And then all of a sudden you wake up one morning and you're like, oh, where did all my deals go? Because the time flow has moved. Now these other numbers might be, green at this point. Let's say this is green here and this is green, but you've still got this annoying red that's stuck there that you got to solve. And the way you can kind of stay on top of that is really simple. It's just making sure that, when you wake up in the morning, you just say, is this green? 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 And if one of them is red, okay, this is the area of my business I need to focus my attention on and making sure I'm turning it back to green. Does that make sense? Everybody raise your hand. Yeah. And so these are really, really simple things. And so the way you can know whether or not these numbers are green is you look at your business and say, okay, number one, am I getting, do I have awareness? Are people aware of me? Are eyeballs on my ads? Are they seeing me in billboards? Are they aware of that I'm here? Are they getting my emails? Are they receiving it? Or are they opening it? That's number one. Number two is is that awareness turning into education type content? Like, what's my home value worth? What property is? That's the second one you want to look at. Number three, am I getting responses or replies? And number four, are those turning into appointments and opening up appointments? And then number five, am I winning those appointments and are they turning into clients? Do people feel heard? Do they look at you? Are you, how are you posturing yourself? Do they feel like they're comfortable giving you their home, which is their largest financial asset, to you and entrusted to you to sell? And so these are really, really simple questions, but important questions to ask. And so I think what I wanted to share this real quick to go into what Wendy's about to share, because this is very cool. So Wendy, you've now created a new email that's a cartoon email, and it's getting responses. So Wendy, I'd love it if you could just quickly share a little bit of what you're doing and how that works.
All right, let's see here. Why does it only want me to share one thing? Usually it says share screen, and this says share Google Chrome. I guess I can do that.
Yeah, it's confusing me too.
Can you guys see all of my tabs across the top?
Hi everybody, Michael here with Authorify, and in this quick video I'm going to show you how you can download the image of your...
What is that? That was not me. Okay, so I know everybody's asking me how I did it, and now I had to relearn and figure out how I did it yesterday. I went to, it's called snapcamera.snapchat.com. And then you can download this on your computer, either a Mac or a PC. And then I don't know if you can see this down here, but it'll look like this little yellow down on the very bottom. It's called Snap Camera. Anyway, oh, it's up here too. So anyway, download that. So when you use Snap Camera, you can only have one camera up at a time. And right now I'm on this camera, so it wouldn't let me show you what it looks like. But if you saw my video, then you know what it looks like. It looks like you in a cartoon. So there's a whole bunch of different filters that you could choose from. And the cartoon one turned out really good. And if you don't like what you look like on camera, it's perfect. Turn yourself into a cartoon.
Can you show it to us? We didn't see it.
I know I can't. Well, when I push on it, it turns it into, oh, I know what I could do. Hold on.
Wendy, I could share it on the StreetText group here.
Yeah, I have it right here in Dropbox. Oh, wait. Hold on. Wait.
I'm downloading this right now.
So let's just go to HomeBot really quick. So basically I did the video, which I'll show you. And then I went to BombBomb and I went to videos. So once you download the video from that Snap Camera, then you're going to go here and go new video, and then you're gonna upload it into BombBomb. Okay, and then here it is right here. You can see it. So cute. Hi there, I'm Wendy with LV Sweet Homes Realty. I know you know me, but this is cartoon style video, which I found this filter and I just started laughing so much. I was like, I need to make a video for my clients. So anyway, I know my past videos. Anyway, I won't, it's pretty long. Longer than I normally do my videos, but I couldn't stop talking and looking at myself. It was just so fun. Anyway.
That is so funny.
I know, right? So then you take it and, oh wait, I think you have to be there. No. Oh, you have to be up here where you click your BombBomb Chrome extension, and then you'll go to videos up here. Yeah, don't do it here. You're gonna go to your 3 dots here and say copy for email. Then once you copy that for your email, then you can go to HomeBot, go to your homeowners, send video to all homeowners. And because I've already did it, it's not gonna let me do it again for another week because it takes 7 days to send 974 emails. So anyway, but you'll be able to go here and you're gonna copy the code, and then it'll paste it right into an email to all of your people. So like if you're putting all of your leads into HomeBot, I also have all my past clients in HomeBot. Every person I've sold a home to is in HomeBot. So basically I kind of did a video about, you know, how the market is right now, and then, you know, not to be afraid of selling and not having a place to go because we have a Move Once program. And then also there are other options of selling to Open Door or Zillow, and why they would make so much more money if they used a realtor. So I don't know how everybody's market is, but I mean, we're getting multiple offers in the first weekend above list price, like $20,000 to $35,000 over list price. It's kind of blowing me away. But as a buyer's agent, it's sucking. So I do both, and but these are homeowners and they need to hear that. I know everybody, they all know that the market's really good for homeowners, but they're scared to make a move because they're afraid they'll be homeless. So I wanted to make sure that they knew I had a plan for them. So anyway, it was fun. And it's on the Insider group if you guys want to watch it.
Are you running that for your buyer leads too out of HomeBot, or you don't have HomeBot set up for buyers yet?
Yeah, I have some buyers in HomeBot, but I did not do a video for buyers. I should be like, you need to go in strong, go all in, don't ask for anything, waive everything if you want your offer accepted. But I don't want to freak anybody out, so. That would be a great cartoon. But yeah, I pass off my buyers to my team, so they are working the buyers.
Yeah, that's awesome, Wendy. Super fun. Such a fun idea, because it really shows who you are, your personality, and you can you know, really display that as well across, which is good because it's, you know, it's all about starting those conversations. It's all about getting the messages, getting the responses, finding another way to sort of you know, stop the scroll, so to speak, or stop that email. So when someone sees it, they're like, oh wait, what is that? And then they click on it and they want to watch it. And it's such a creative way of disrupting.
Yeah. Well, once again, you come across, separate yourself to look different than everybody else, because if it looks like the same old generic, another one. So that one there, it's like, oh wait, you know, go back to that one. There you are.
I was hoping I would get a little bit more open. So they've only sent like 100 and something out of the 900 and something. So I'm not sure yet, but I mean, for the most part, this is a standard, you know, 857 sends, 432 opens. So 50% opens on HomeBot, which
Wendy,
I think is great.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry, can you post the URL that you went to? I think you said Snap Camera something. Will you
Yeah,
post that?
I can do that.
And you know, Wendy, everybody uses metrics a little different. I don't go by the cents. I will sit there and look at what they opened. So the second two numbers are more important to me than the first, because you know that a lot going to get ignored anyway. But I want to see out of what I sent that got opened, how many people are looking, because then you can go back into HomeBot and look at the activity, and now you can just centralize on those figures because those are the ones most active, and that's who I want to go after anyway at the time. The rest are still on a drip.
Right. Yeah, I utilize it a lot because you can actually go, I think that'll work. You can actually go to active homeowners and it'll sort who's active. And I love it because then I'll be like, oh, okay, they looked at it 3 minutes ago. Sometimes it'll be like they looked at their value like 7 times, this person. So then I'll go in there and see if I've sent her anything recently, or if I've sent her any CMA, maybe run new comps, making sure that, they're getting the correct value, because HomeBot is still online values. So I want to make sure, if they're looking at it 7 times, that they're looking at the right numbers. But
Wendy,
I'll go through and I'll mail them something. Like if they're super active, like I sent them all the Vegas night schedule, so that, they'll be looking here and checking their mail and seeing me. So.
Brittany, Lori's asking if you could share a little bit about your Move Once program. Just kind of drop that and then.
Oh, well, so my Move Once program is basically we get the buyers to agree to a rent back. So the buyers want their home so bad because there's, no inventory here, that, I've gotten a week rent back up to 6 months of a rent back, like for new builds. So, mainly it's usually about 30 to 45 days, because if it's owner occupied, they have to move in before 60 days. But, a lot of people don't think about that, and they think, they're going to have to move out, and then what if they don't have a place yet? And I mean, that gives us plenty of time, because I don't let my homeowners shop until we are on the market and in escrow and past home inspection. So then it's time to start shopping, and I want to make sure they have enough time to do that, so they'll get their money and still have, a month or two to get closed up and move. So it's nice because nobody wants to move twice.
Yeah. That makes sense. It's a really good idea. Good program.
Good stuff. Who else has some shares? Anything that they want to talk about specifically? While you have everybody here, ask away. Doesn't have to be a win, just sharing.
Well, these are a couple of things that I think maybe perhaps we can take, kind of make sure that we can ask for this when we're either doing videos or HomeBot, because I've now seen that people who may not be ready, who are just curious, like for instance, whether it's my HomeBot videos or just regular bomb videos, I typically, when I end saying, hey, remember this is, Juan Sanchez from blah, 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 blah. Just let you know if you're not ready yet, let me know who might be ready. So send me their contact information or share this video with them. And what I've been finding out is through HomeBot, the seller or the potential lead has shared that information. And when that information is shared, what happens is that neighbor, whoever it is, your contact information is on there as well. So I've been getting hits off of that and starting the conversation with them. Then on another note, with these people that I'm finding and stalking on Facebook, I'm starting these conversations and also saying, I know you're not ready, but do you know anyone who might be interested in using real estate services? And wouldn't you know it, they do have somebody that would like to use a realtor. As a matter of fact, I started doing this way back in January, and on Monday I closed my first ST lead referral for a house that they're buying here in Florida. So to me, asking for that business more than once, not just from the lead itself, but potentially if they know of someone who is in the need of real estate services, has been helping out as well.
That's an excellent point, Juan. Thank you for sharing that, because we more than ever, we forget to ask for the business. And, you know, they might not be ready, but maybe their neighbor or a family member or a coworker is ready and they could use our services.
Correct, because they're just curious on their end. It's just meeting their needs, but we're looking for business, whether it comes from them or potentially if they have a family member or a neighbor. And sometimes it does end up making you a connection.
Wendy, I have a little tip for you regarding your buyers. I'm in DC and there is no inventory, let's put it that way. And prices or offers are going about 30% over ask. So what I have implemented is what I call my 20-20-20 system, which is I go to 20 homes on the left, 20 homes on the right, 20 homes across the street. I tell them exactly what I offered, since the homes are very similar, how much I offered over ask and under what conditions. And then I ask people, are they willing to buy? And that's another way that I've gotten listings.
Adrian, I missed, how do you contact them?
I send a letter.
Oh, awesome.
20-20-20.
Yeah, no, that's great. I did hit a neighborhood for a couple that was only looking in that neighborhood. And I sent mailers out asking if anybody or knew a neighbor that wanted to sell, because I have a buyer that lost out on 4 houses in there. And that, you know.
And I even give them the price, since they're all colonials and they're very similar. I say, you know, I bid so much over ask, this was the price. This is the composition of the family that wants to move in. They need to be in this neighborhood because of the schools, you know, give them all the details and people appreciate that.
Right, no, that's awesome. Yep, circle prospecting.
Someone just asked in the group about, was anyone working old leads in StreetText? I'm only going to ask, why wouldn't you be? The longer they're in there, the more you nurture, the better your odds. A lot of my deals last year were 2 years and older for leads. So why have something sitting in your pipeline if you're not going to work it? You should be working everything you have in there, even if you break it down and categorize it as hot, not warm, whatever, but it's in there. You should be working it. It's you have leads in there for a reason. That's why they're called that.
Leon, your backdrop is cracking me up.
I couldn't agree more. And Leon, the perfect example of that is, you know, Jennifer Salter's not here, but she always goes back to the very first lead she's ever got with StreetText and writes them a personal message. So if you have 10 pages and a bunch of leads, that probably is your biggest opportunity, because they've gotten to know you at this point.
Who's tracking that number? Who's tracking how many days on average your leads have been around before they turn into your client?
I do, but I don't, because everybody has their own thing. What I do track is activity, and that's why I say I don't do it as well or as good as I could or would have, should have. But my thing for activity is if they're in there, I reach out. And the thing is, just like right now, I've probably got, when people talk about brutal housing market, I got an offer. Like I said, I just sitting there today going through the group. I got one that topped out at 50 grand over what I listed this thing at. And they actually look like they want to try to pay that much for it because they're just that frustrated. But the thing is, when I do pull up a person, before I call them, what I track is I track their history. So I'll go see in the system, see their activity. A lot of times we make the mistake of thinking they were only on our site, which they weren't. They call it surfing the internet for a reason. So when I go in there and I look at how long they've been in there, I look at their activity, my website even tells me the history of theirs. So when I talk to them, they're like, wow, this guy's all up on me. And it's like, no, I just did a brain refresh for this thing. So because, you know, when you're rolling a bunch of leads, I don't care, 100, 1,000, 10,000, you'd burn up your brain. So I just go in, and when I pull up the history on the person, I go through everything, I refresh it, you run it in your mind. And then when I call them and have a conversation, I'm up on speed. And that's how I feel you should be.
100%. I think that's really important. And so knowing what you measure is really important because it becomes a yardstick for success for yourself. Psychologically, you're reinforcing that. And if we are only ever measuring the conversion, well, guess what? That yardstick for a success, it kind of does this. It's going to fluctuate. There's going to be some days where you'll get like 3 incredible responses, and then the next day you might get crickets. And so if you are measuring something like what Leon just said, where he's looking at activity, or you're measuring your own activity, or Jennifer Salter, she tries to always like hit a certain number of time blocks every week where she's like, no matter what, I make sure I go back there and I reach out to my database. That's really important, because what you're doing is you're moving you're reinforcing the reward system of your own brain on the things that are driving your business forward. I loved what Allison shared earlier as well, where she was talking about the fact that it doesn't really matter if a person's a year out or 1 month out or a day out. She's going to keep in touch. She's going to stay in relationship with them, because it's the connection that she creates that's going to turn into that listing. And so if you're reinforcing the activities that are opening and creating new connections, that's also why I loved what Wendy shared today, because it's such a fun way of showing who you are, your personality, and making yourself very approachable, because there are going to be some people who are intimidated by you. There are going to be some people who are intimidated by meeting with a real estate agent. There's the thought of, okay, they're an expert, they know a lot more than me. Maybe but if you start with, I'm here for you. I've got your interest in mind. I care about you as a person. I care about building that relationship and figuring out what the next best step for you is that suits your needs. That's going to really open doors in a big way. The other thing that we haven't touched on yet, this mastermind, but it's really important to talk about, is the domain. If you haven't set one up yet already, make sure you go and set up your domain. When I'm sure you've heard by now, but the iOS 14 update is coming. And when it does, your conversion pixels will stop firing if you don't have a domain. Your ads, the update hasn't happened yet. So if you're seeing weird fluctuations in your ad performance, that's just Facebook. That's been around for, ever with Facebook ads. You just need to create another split test, figure out what your winning combination is. And sometimes you'll be lucky and your first ad will be the best ad you run. And sometimes it might take 2, 3, 4 split tests to find an ad that really makes sense for your market. I remember, Wendy, your market, you're in Vegas, it's one of the most competitive markets in the world, 20,000 plus agents in Vegas. It's very, very, very competitive. It takes a little while to figure out what works for you in your market, but she's figured out what works, and it's working. And now she's got a domain set up and she's got ads that are working for that domain. So it's great, because now when the switch flips, those campaigns will continue to perform well. So make sure that you are there. And then again, I also like what Allison said earlier as well, which is when you are getting a winning ad, you don't have to go and switch it up again. Just keep it running, because your winning ad consistency sometimes it's the simplest thing, but consistency keeps you in the game long enough to see the fruit of all the work you put in. And so if you're running an ad and it's working good, sometimes I've seen ads like work well for 2-3 years. And that's the power of a good ad, is that if you got great relevancy and you have great audience size that you're seeing, that people are exposed to, and the Facebook's algorithm keeps saying, yeah, this ad's relevant, it keeps working, it's relevant, keep working, it's going to keep figuring out and showing who to put it in front of. And that's also why I like the conversion pixel, because the conversion pixel is firing on an actual lead conversion, like a person turning into a lead, versus firing on the traffic side. So if you're running traffic ads right now, I highly recommend you stop your traffic ads. Go, unless you're doing the buyer side, because then you can do some good things with the traffic. But if you're doing sellers, if you're looking for seller leads and you're doing a home value, stop your traffic ads, go out there, set up your domain, and run a conversion ad under a new domain. And it's once it's set up, you're good to go. You're moving forward. I just wanted to make sure we mentioned that too before the end of the mastermind as well. So if you haven't already set up your domain, make sure you set up your domain.
What do you mean by traffic ads?
If you go on StreetText, you'll notice that some ads are their objective will be traffic or engagement. Traffic or engagement basically is what's telling Facebook that if a person clicks on your ad, that's a good person. And that can work, but it's way better if you can tell Facebook, no, I don't want a person that clicked on my ad. I want a person that put in an email address or phone number. Send me more of them. So that way you're over time, the audience that Facebook is targeting is improving, and it's actually sending you more emails and phone numbers.
Which are the, what is my home really worth ads.
Exactly, yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I canceled all my old ones and did the new ones with my new domain, and they aren't as good as my old ones. So I think I need to redo them.
You might have to do another split test.
Yeah, I'll have to do another split.
I took a look in there earlier this week, and they seemed like they were doing okay.
Yeah, well, they were like at $4 and $5 and a lead or whatever, and normally they were like at 2 and 3. So,
Okay, yeah.
So I canceled all those. I did another 4 set, and then I did the Leaving Las Vegas one, and that didn't bring in anything, but I think a lot of engagement because people probably thought it was funny because it was the movie.
Yeah, I saw that. That was hilarious.
I got no addresses. So yeah, not as funny as I thought.
So it's good to be creative.
Yeah, I started a split test yesterday, and I went in to look today to see which one's doing better, and it doesn't even have reach, but I already got 2 with phone numbers. So I don't know, do I leave it running until I hit some reach?
100%.
Yes, okay.
Are you running, is that under the new domain?
I do have a new domain. We put it up last week, but I don't know.
So then yes, it will be.
Okay.
So Facebook won't actually be able to give us data now until 72 hours. So there's a longer window where you won't see that reach.
Okay.
Just if you're using your metrics around phone numbers, that's a great one. Email addresses, that's a great one. You're going to want to have a look at those, and you're still going to see clicks. You're still going to see emails. You're still going to see phone numbers. Use those. That's going to determine earlier on whether or not it's working. But if you're seeing that and you're not seeing reach, that's okay. There's just a 72-hour learning period now. So they've extended it. It used to be 24 hours. Now it's 72 hours.
Oh, wait another day. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah.
Hey, Jonathan, so you're recommending that we still go ahead and do our split tests, even though Facebook doesn't have everything going 100%, we can still go ahead and do our splits. And ultimately, as the ad ages, it should render better results. Is that what you're telling us?
Yes. Yeah, to a point. So there's it will improve over time as it gets better, and then eventually you hit an audience fatigue. An audience fatigue is when the person's seen that ad like on average in your audience. You can see it, the frequency rate, but let's say it's like 5 or 6 times. Then the performance will start, and then you relaunch it so Facebook finds a new audience.
Realistically, that's in some cases there's millions of people within that 15 miles.
Oh yeah, I've seen it take 2+ years. And think about it as well, which is even though you're targeting an audience on Facebook, Facebook is tracking so many engagements of interest around who that person is. The longer that ad runs, who they target is changing, because they're saying, okay, yeah, this is who we originally thought was relevant to this ad, but now those people have changed because there's new people taking actions. There's new people showing signs of change of behavior. There's new people who are getting married, shopping for baby clothes, looking like they might need a bigger home. You name it. They're looking for those signals in the back end, and that list is constantly changing on Facebook's end.
Yeah, I want to say something on this custom domain that I don't think people are thinking about. The big picture. This custom domain will immediately separate you from your competition. No one will even know you're using StreetText anymore because there's no StreetText brand. It's going to be your branded custom domain, both on the ad itself and then in the landing pages. And with that, you'll be able to repurpose this link into your mailers, which makes complete sense for those address onlys to get them to come back into the funnel. You'll be throwing this into your email signatures. You'll be putting this, sharing this with your social. There's so many possibilities that give this opportunity. And now the ad itself, if it's working, can be on for 2+ years. If you look at Allison, she kept her ad on forever. The problem is we're always looking for this next best thing. But the truth is, once you start looking at your likes on this ad, as it builds this organic relevancy, you get the likes on there, you get the comments in there, and this is why I want you guys to always view your ad as time builds, there's social interaction happening. And if that social interaction is positive, it's only going to enhance this ad. I've actually seen some agents, I showed up at their ad performance review and they had double or triple lead flow than what their, like, it didn't make sense to me because their cost per click was this, their cost per lead was this, cost per email. And I'm like, how do you have 3 times the amount of leads? Oh, they're like, oh, I just share this out to the groups that I'm a part of. And so you're not,
it's such a good point.
You're not paying for that click, it's organic. But a lot of people don't, they keep themselves in this box of sponsoring ads through Facebook, but they don't actually take it back to their personal sphere and their personal groups and share that with just a little bit of context so that those people know, hey, it's you personally. You're not just asking for someone's address to receive their home value. You're saying, hey, you know, I'm offering a complimentary service right now and I'm doing it virtually with Zoom. So you don't, you know, it's COVID friendly. You can share your pictures. You can start by entering your information below, or, you know, we can meet up for a virtual coffee. And you share those into your groups with that particular ad you're running. And so now you're gaining social interaction with it. People are commenting, people are liking it. All of a sudden you see you have 100 likes and comments on that. And then you don't even have to actually run another split test again because Facebook sees that as relevant. And it's going to continue presenting it to people like those people.
I gotta run here. I got another appointment, but I just want to finish this by saying 100%, like if you get comments on your ads, I've seen ads perform exactly what Marcus just said. You know, you can get double the conversion rate if you have a really good comment. Look at your ads, check your comments. And if you want to get good comments, you know, I think maybe like reach out to your network, reach out to past clients and say, hey, would you mind sharing that thing that you just told me? Would you mind writing that on that, you know, this post, and just share that ad to them? Because that's it's a really simple thing to do, but you can, you know, hugely increase the power of that that ads conversion. But I got to run. So thanks everybody. Really appreciate this. It's been another great mastermind.
John's got to run. I got something to add to that. So with that being said, also, if someone likes your ad, Facebook message them personally. So PM them. I've seen so many people that don't enter this funnel. They don't put in their information, their address, their email, their phone number, all that stuff, but they like your ad or they comment on your ad. So you should be PMing them personally, not from your business page, but personally, to even take a snapshot of that ad. Like, hey, I saw that you like this ad, right? Take, you know, for me, it's Command-Shift-4 for a Mac. I don't know what it is for you, but show them what they clicked on, what they liked, what they commented on, and say, hey, just want to let you know that this is not a bot. This is a real person. I'm offering a very complimentary service. You know, if that's something you're looking to get, just let me know.
Marcus, are we actually able to share the actual ad itself or just a picture of it? Because if
you're able to share it, you're able to share it yourself. So I think you have to try it from logging in, like if you have your business page, if you're logging into your business page, or if you're logging into your personal account. So you have your Facebook tab open, look at it from both angles. But once you go to view your ad from, like if you have all your tabs open, your StreetText tabs open, and then you go to that ad section, the StreetText, and look at view ad, right? And then that takes you straight to your Facebook. And then you go to share that ad and you'll see the options.
Okay,
right?
Perfect.
And then you share with context. You just don't share posts just like a share. You share it with a description, your own personal context, and then you can share into groups. You can share into multiple places, because if your influence is big and you have gained a pretty awesome following with Facebook, don't forget all that influence you already have there. And that's where people are seeing you every single day. Your sponsored element should be mixed with your organic element.
Hey, Marcus, so you said that if I share my ad, because it comes across my own feed, if I share it to my groups, I don't get charged when they click on it?
No.
Interesting, because every time I share it, like to neighborhood groups or wherever I'm showing property, I become part of their group, I start getting StreetText leads in those areas. It's like the next day, boom, people start hitting it from there. So
exactly.
Yeah,
and
I
so,
like that.
And so, but you don't just wait for it to show up in your feed. I'm saying is you could take action right now by viewing your ad through StreetText.
Oh.
When you view your ad, it shows you what it looks like on Facebook.
Okay,
and then
so
you share it from there.
Every time I see it in my own feed, though, that's like a trigger to me. Okay, now it's time to share, because I don't want to keep oversharing it to these little groups, you know.
Well, don't overshare it, but always just, you know, from time to time, come in there and give some context that it's a complimentary service, and you bring over your favorite cup of coffee.
What the tagline I've been using is like, say it's El Sereno, whatever. I go, this thing even works in El Sereno, and you will be pleasantly surprised. In my text with the little house emojis, people click on that like crazy. So I like it.
That's what I'm saying. Share some personal context in there. But I've come into an ad performance review and I saw triple the lead flow. So their cost per lead was like $2, but then they had 3 times the amount of leads. And I didn't understand it. And so she shared with me that she was sharing these into groups that she was part of, with a little bit of context just to make that person feel like they can do it as a complimentary service.
Yeah, you just have to make sure that the groups that you're becoming a part of allow you to post such things. Because if you do that, they're going to be like, you're obnoxious and stay out.
Oh, they'll block you.
I make sure they're like, neighborhood groups that are open to that kind of thing. So it's all good. And also I've noticed that, which I've shared with you before, is that when I video messenger through Facebook with all my people, I just do a quick little video. Hey, it's been a while, I haven't talked to you. I get 98% replies. Not just are they watching my video, but they are replying to me and saying, how have you been? And some guys even will send me a video back. Like I kind of challenge them, hit me back, and they send me a
Messenger you're talking about.
Yeah, Facebook Messenger, just directly. I don't say anything about real estate. They all know I'm a realtor.
It's the end game. You connect with somebody on Facebook, that changes everything, because not only now you have them on your personal feed, they'll see you every single day. Not to mention when you do message them, if they've seen it. And if you have something like that in video, chances are they'll reply to you. And so that everybody should be shooting for that opportunity to connect on Facebook. And this is why, for you're always wanting to humanize that process. Find them on Facebook, go to the advanced search, type in their name, go to people, and then go down to location and type in the city. It's not always accurate, but a lot of the time you can find that person if you do it that way. And then you just look to connect. Cool. Thanks everybody. Hope you got some gold there. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Hey, one last thing I was going to ask you, Marcus. If we turn around, yes, please. If we turn around and some of us that have extra domains laying around, if we forward it to the new StreetText domain, no stop, please. We forward it to the new StreetText domain. Thank you. Yeah, that means that when the people are basically clicking in. So, for example, Wendy Sells Vegas. If she had wendysellsvegas.com and was using that to advertise on something else, was to forward the domain to the new StreetText thing, that would be another way to draw traffic across, correct?
That's a good question. I would run that by Steve just to be safe. I always default to him on this stuff. Steve or John.
Okay, and the reason I say that is like I don't run, I use Puget Sound Communities, but I have Tacoma, I have Olympia, I have all the other ones that I can direct them where I want. So what I was looking to do is with this new one settled down for the domains, when they flip the trigger, I'm looking to push about 6 or 7 other domain names to the one I have now. And I say that to the group in case you have something, and say, for example, you change your mind on something you might have wanted to use instead, you can still secure that name and forward it to what's running to still pull traffic across your StreetText stuff.
Yeah, no, I like that idea. I do.
Marcus,
all right.
Yes.
Can you show us really quick how to see our ad through StreetText?
Yeah, absolutely.
When I click on it, it goes to the home value page, like you fill in your address. So
okay.
Where do you see
you're
that?
You're going to the wrong one. So when you go to ads on your dashboard, and then you go to view your ad right here on top.
Oh, it's on top.
It's on top.
I knew
so
that.
When you view your ad, then you can actually share right here where it says share, right? And then you have the ability to share public, share to a news feed, send in Messenger, share to a group, share to a page, share on a friend's profile.
Got it.
So that's it right there. Yeah, 100%. And you want to view your ad from time to time anyways, Wendy, because if you're not paying attention, you're not realizing that people are liking it and commenting on it, because you don't always see that stuff. So if you make it a habit of viewing, then you're more likely to respond, at least, as a routine, and start reaching out to those people that have liked it. I've seen people that have kept that ad on and have hundreds of likes you know, dozens of comments that are going back and forth. And that's just keeping that ad relevant on Facebook.